Oops.
What's up, everybody, and welcome
Hello.
back to the Buddy Time Podcast with K and A.
I'm A.
And I'm Kay. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Good to be back.
Very good.
Another gigantic thank you to everybody who watched and listened and commented and had nice things to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it shocks me every time now, but so Halloween, how was your Halloween?
It was good. Well, we went out for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I did have to go back home and get some sleep for work.
Mm-hmm.
But seen some cool costumes. I missed something though, but it's okay. I gotta see it on the phone anyway, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm. So I have kids. I have two kids, a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. I'm old. So we obviously take them out every year. We live in California. I am originally from Oregon, and we moved down to California like 2 years ago. And so it's always nice to be able to take my kids out with my husband's side of the family, which we did. We went with his nephew, which is weird to say because he's 23, 24 maybe. But yeah, we went out with them, and they have two kids. And it just so happened that, and can I just say that I've noticed that not as many people hand out candy anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like, it was
Yeah,
dead.
it was not.
I think we hit 7 houses, and they weren't skipping out on candy, so it's like the kids were still getting candy. But wow, I remember growing up and even living back in Oregon, you went to a certain place and it was just like lit up.
Yeah.
It's like what people did. Even
true.
people who were taking their own kids out to trick or treat, they would always hand out candy first and then come back and hand out candy.
Yep.
So I was getting a little bit frustrated because if you have kids or you're an adult and you like to go to Halloween parties and stuff like that, you understand that costumes are not cheap.
No.
And so I was getting irritated that I spent like so much money for my kids to look a certain way and have a lot of fun for one night, which is insane. So I was getting really irritated because there wasn't really much going on. And then around 8 o'clock, they were like, oh, let's just go somewhere else. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. And then that's when you went home.
Yeah.
He walked around with us for a little bit,
Yes.
which was nice. That was your first time Halloween with us.
Yeah, it was very fun.
So that was cool. So around 8, he went home because he's a grandpa and he has to go to bed early for work. And then we ended up going to my husband's nephew's boss's house. And apparently every year he does this whole production, and he has like what do you call it, like a flash mob, and they were all dressed up like zombies. So like these 2 stretch limos like come, and they're just like crawling out of these cars, and then proceeded to walk by us, in their outfits, and then just did like a whole dance routine to Thriller. And it was just so fun because they really engage with you. However, it was really funny because I caught it on tape, but there was this, I'm assuming, pretty wasted lady that was like just joined in on the group, even though she wasn't part of the group. So she wasn't dressed like a zombie at all. She was just like in her costume dancing behind the main guy, and he was like, she kept getting in everyone's way, and the guy was finally like, she's not one of ours, she's one of yours. Like, broke character and everything. I didn't get that part on video, but it was right after my video. But yeah, it was really funny.
That's what I missed.
Yeah, that's what you missed. And you would have liked it because he loves zombie stuff. And I was like a little bit sad, but I also knew that like, and honestly, we didn't stay much past when you would be going to sleep. Honestly, you probably could have come, but I know you wanted to relax.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. And so the guy does this stuff every year, and what he does is he does a raffle. And so we pull up to this guy's house, and there's a line like around the block, and I'm like, oh no. Like, to me, that's a nightmare. Like, waiting in line that long with a bunch of kids, people running around, cars trying to get by you. It's a little alleyway. So it seemed like a nightmare, but you know, you do stuff for your kids because you want them to have fun. You want them to make memories.
True.
So we wait in this line, and we get up there, and basically what he does is he does a raffle. And so your kid gets to pick like a piece of paper out of a hat, and then they read the piece of paper, and whatever on that paper, that's what you win. So he was giving out candy and laptops, tablets, fishing poles, bikes.
Jeez.
Like, it was insane. Money, like hundreds of dollars of money, just handing them out. And so and the really cool thing is he lets you continue to go through the line until like all of his stuff is gone. So it was like really fun that like you got to go through, and if you didn't maybe get anything very special, then you could go back and do it all over again.
That's neat.
So it was really fun, and my daughter ended up being one of the people who won a tablet. Whoa. So yeah, it ended up being really worth it. The kids had such a good time. They got I'm gonna be honest, not as much candy as usual, but they got more candy from this one guy's house than we did walking around for an hour to multiple houses. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to die the next day. I was in so much pain from like walking and standing and going here and there, and I don't do well on my feet. Okay, I just don't. That's just part of my illness that I deal with all the time. It's just standing for long periods of time makes me feel really nauseous. Moving around makes me feel nauseous. So yeah, the next day I was like, not me, not today. I'm this guy too. Boy, did I hear it the next day.
Yeah, I was tired. I wanted to sleep.
Yeah, but that was, oh, and I also did a little girl's makeup.
Oh, yeah.
That was really fun. She seemed to really like it. She was Pennywise. And I did her makeup, and it turned out really cute. Pennywise?
For people who don't know.
Pennywise is the clown from It.
Yeah, It guy.
No, thank
With
you.
the big forehead. Yeah. And white and stuff.
Yeah.
Lives in the sewers, I think.
I've only Google it.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one, I think, maybe.
But yeah, and so that was pretty much everything that happened like this week was just leading up to that one night. And now it's over. And I'm just like, please.
Yeah.
Give me rest. But there's no rest for the wicked, so.
Wow.
So yeah, that was our week. I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween. Let us know in the comments how your Halloween was. Did you wear a costume?
Yeah.
Did you take your kids out? What were they? Did you experience any sort of like shortage like we did? Let us know. We love hearing from you guys. We've been trying to comment back to everyone. So yeah, let us know how it went. I hope you guys had fun and you were safe.
Yes, especially safe.
There
was some, or at least
Screw fun. Be safe.
There was one car that was just rushing through. I don't know if there was more, but there was one that.
Oh yeah.
That just rushed right through between like our group.
Mm-hmm. Like no exaggeration. He almost ran someone over, and there was almost hands thrown. But anyway, so on to the topic today, which we didn't really know what we were going to talk about today. And Ollie still doesn't really know what we're talking about today, because we had a couple ideas. So we could talk about like how we met, or we could talk about movies since we got a little bit into movies last week when we were talking about games and stuff. But something happened this morning with my daughter, that I don't know. I feel like it's worth talking about, and I won't go into detail about like our conversation, but there's a big one that I find is a real problem these days, which is honesty. I feel like there's such a lack of honesty in the world nowadays. And I don't really
True.
understand it. And I know, like, I say this all the time that I don't lie, and people like roll their eyes, like, of course she does. And I'm not talking about little white lies where, your friend asks you if their ass looks fat, ooh, butt looks fat in that, pair of jeans. And you're like, no, you look great. I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about that. I'm talking about stuff that's important, or things that don't even need to be lied about, I feel like. Um, and this wasn't strictly the conversation that we were having, but I find myself having to not remind my kids to be honest and open, but just like hopefully like help them on the way to understanding that it's just better for
Mm-hmm.
everyone to be honest, and no matter what that's about, doesn't matter what we're talking about. If it could potentially hurt someone, then a lie is always worse than
Yep.
the truth. Even though the truth, that saying truth hurts, that's real, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
But I think another topic I want to talk about is like owning your faults, like knowing what your faults are and knowing that that's okay, and it helps shape who you are. Um, so there was a situation, and I was just trying to um, also explain to her that like when you're a good friend and you're a
Mm-hmm.
good person, you may not want to hurt someone's feelings by telling them what they need to hear, but that's what friends do, if you ask me.
Yes.
In my opinion, uh, if you're truly a friend, it's not about kissing your friend's butt and telling them what you think they need to hear. It's about telling them what
Yep.
they need to hear. It's not about pleasing them, it's about helping them. And I find that the truth is much more helpful than a lie, because a lie gets you nowhere.
No.
Absolutely nowhere, because no one can grow from a lie.
Mm-mm.
If you lie, then there's no growth happening. So if you're honest with somebody, and there's a way to be honest with people, I really, really, really had to learn this. I have not always been as kind with my honesty as I am now. And even still, I still think I can work on it now. Uh, but yeah, I just feel like a lot of the reasons why my friendships haven't always lasted very long, um, is because I have a very low tolerance for bull, and I have a very low tolerance for lying, which is a
Yes.
huge thing for me. Uh, and so I have to have that in my friendships. Not only that, but I have to have a friend who understands that that is who I am. It is not going to change. I am who I am. They
Yep.
are who they are. But that's why you find people who will accept that about you. Um,
Yeah. I'm
so,
I'm not good at lying, but also not good at telling the truth if like it needs to be said.
mhm.
I like to spare people hurting their feelings, but that could also hurt them later if they don't know something that you might know, I guess. Lying is not good, but
So we
sometimes
we have
telling
not always been
yeah.
like this. This took where we are today. It took a lot.
Yeah.
When you have a friendship, sometimes like it's so easy nowadays to just like give up. Just okay, there's too much of this, there's too much of that. But when you find like a person who's like willing to hear what you have to say, like I won't accept that. You can't do that in this friendship, and them go, "Oh, you're right. Like I'm sorry. I'll work on that." Instead of
Yeah.
going bleep this, bleep that, you're bleep this, bleep, and we have gone through that. We've been there. We've
Yeah.
cussed each other out. We've ended our friendship. We've told each other never to talk to each other again. Deleted each other. I mean, we've been through that. But it also helped us get to where we are now.
Yes.
In that, like, there is one thing that I think makes our friendship work. And that is the fact that I am allowed to be myself. And I have found someone who is able to listen to that and not judge instead. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And I also am very accepting of his faults as well. And so, like, even when we argue, still, of course we argue sometimes, we're friends. It happens.
Yeah.
We're two different people, so a lot of times, you know, you have that thing where you're like, no, I feel this way, but no, I feel that way. And of course that happens.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between I don't agree with that, but I hear you and you're wrong. And there's been a lot of times where, no offense to him, but he's had to grow up a lot. And there was a time in our friendship where I literally was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have to not, like, I love you, but I can't be your friend right now. Like, you need to do things for yourself, and you need to do some growing up, and you need to do some soul searching. And he's the kind of person where he took a year and he did it. Wasn't perfect the second time around. In fact, this is the third time around. There will be no fourth time around, by the way. But, you know, each time it was like you came back a better version of yourself each time. And not a different version. He's not different. He's still the same person.
Yeah.
He's just an upgraded version of himself. And not just him, everyone grows. I'm not saying like, oh, he needed to go and grow and I'll just stay here and be fantastic. No, I needed to do some things too, because I am literally the first person to admit that I'm way too honest, and I haven't always had a grace about that. It was my way, highway. How I feel is how I feel. I'll give up about anything else. Only my stuff matters. And that's such the wrong way to do it, because you'll never have somebody understand your side if you're not being honest. Firstly, about yourself. So I know that I can be harsh sometimes, and he can be very
annoying.
Yes. This guy is so annoying. But see, that's one of the things. It's like, I know, and we've had these conversations where like we'll literally be playing or doing something, and he's doing something to annoy me, and I'm like, I have to go because you're literally bothering me, and it's not you, it's me. You're just being yourself, and I accept that, but I also know my limits, and I have to go before this becomes a thing. So, like, when you're honest like that, it just helps everything. Because if I was just to lash out at him for being who he is and just leaving or whatever, that doesn't help anything. That doesn't help him grow at all. Doesn't help me grow at all. Doesn't help fix that dynamic where, you know, he's being annoying and I'm just like, I literally can't with you right now. it literally makes it so that we can continue a friendship without, there's no like hard feelings.
Yes.
Like, and when we have, he's not good at this, but I am. When we have a problem, I'm like, we're not going to sit here and text about it. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you over text. You're going to come over and we're going to talk face to face and we're going to have a conversation. Like, because I think that's a lot of what ruins a friendship or even a lot of relationships is you're trying to solve things over text messages or over social media, or you're turning to people who aren't in that friendship to blow smoke up your hole and tell you what you want to hear. That solves nothing. And that's another place where I feel like people aren't honest. Like when you invite other people into your relationship and talk about your problems with people, I feel like you're probably not giving them the full story, because we all have one story and then there's another side to every story. But also as friends, again, we just continue to blow smoke up you know where, and it's like it doesn't solve anything. You're not telling that person what they need to hear, and a lot of the times that thing is you're kind of being a jerk and you should listen. And so I thank him so much for listening. I can't tell you that how many times like I've been really honest to the point where other people would be like, you're being such a bee right now and I don't want to be your friend anymore, because we're almost conditioned to say we want the truth but not be able to hear it. You know what I mean? Like if someone tells you the truth, they're being rude. They're being a B word, especially for females. Yeah. And I don't even take offense to that anymore. Okay, because I stick up for myself and I know what's right for me, then okay, I'll accept that. I'll take that. But he like never makes me feel that way anymore. There have been times where he does the switcheroo, but we've worked through that. What do you like? Okay, so we'll be arguing about something and we'll be talking about something he did to hurt my feelings, and he turns it around. You did this. You did that. Yeah, but what about you? And I'm like, yeah, no, we'll get to me, but we're talking about you right now, and you need to hear what I'm saying and accept what I'm saying so that we can grow and move on. And you have gotten so good at that.
Yeah, I try.
I know it's not easy for you. Every time I have to have this talk with him, he's always like, oh no. Oh no. And he looks at me with those like puppy dog eyes like, I'm sorry. But yeah, I honestly, get you somebody or a couple somebodies that just allow you to speak your truth. Just allow them to speak your truth, and be able to hear theirs too.
Yeah.
It's really important.
You got to.
It's true. And I mean, it's not one way, you know. There are times when I've been like, yeah, I definitely should have said that different. Or whatever the case may be. I know that sometimes the things that I say and I fully accept, and I'll be the first to tell you, they're like, I have a way of saying things that it could seem like I'm being rude, but I'm not. Like, I mean it in the best way ever. And now that he knows who I am, he can just be like, that's just you being you. And when he's being annoying or whatever, I mean, that's just you being you. And if you really appreciate someone, that's just what you do.
Yeah.
It's just what you do.
It's true.
And I mean, you've told me stories. We don't have to say any names or anything, but you've told me stories where some people have really laid some heavy lies on you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that, like, you never have to worry that, like, I'm gonna be untruthful with you.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel for you, like, or how does it feel it on your side of it when I'm laying the smackdown on you?
Well,
Especially as a male having to hear it from a female.
um, hmm. I've never really been a confrontational person, so usually I just try to just take it, and sometimes I don't though. Like I like
He
to,
can be pushed to a limit.
yeah, I can get upset. I try not to, but you know, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just take it basically.
He does.
I just
He does too.
I listen, and there's times where I don't. I just say yes or no or whatever, or nod my head, and then that's also quite annoying too. I can see it happen the other way. If someone I was trying to talk to someone, they're just kind of nodding away and not saying anything or apologizing. So you know.
And we've had conversations where I've been like, you can't not communicate back. Like, it's okay to listen and then also say what you have to say, and that's okay. Um, but yeah, he's just someone, which I find very weird. I find that like maybe it's the dominant part of me, because I can be an aggressive person. I talk a lot with my hands and I do this, you know, and that can be intimidating to some people. I lost my track of thought.
You like to be dominant.
Well, okay, no, well, what I was going to say is, thank you for helping me back on track, was that I find that I married a dude who barely talks. Like, and my best friend is somebody who barely talks. Like, if he didn't know you and we were all sitting in a room, guess who'd be talking? Me.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
and so now again, he does reach a point where he won't let somebody walk all over him. But again, I think that's something, again, that you had to work on.
Yeah.
Because we've been friends for years, so I've seen other friendships that he's had. I won't name names, but they have been nasty to you. Nasty. And as a friend, I couldn't sit by and allow it. Now, I've never been like, you should be friends with this person and not that person. But when I see that someone's being disrespectful or whatever, like, I truthfully speak up. And I'm like, you have to stop letting them walk all over you. You can be way too nice. And because the whole I don't want to be confrontational thing, it allows somebody to continue to do that behavior.
Yeah.
Or there's a saying that goes, you teach people how to treat you. And it's so true. Because if there's no consequence, then why would someone stop? They wouldn't. There'd be no reason to. And so you have recently been really strong and like let a lot of those people go.
Yeah.
And that's really good. But that's what I'm saying though, is if you don't tell somebody the truth, they can't grow. There's no growth. If I didn't say, friend to friend, I'm worried about you because, these people are treating you a certain way that you don't deserve. Like, no one deserves to be talked to like that. Then you would have never been like, yeah, true, I do that. Because it's hard to see truth when you're in it. People are always like, oh, there's signs, whatever, but, and also I am a firm believer that people need to make their own mistakes. You can help someone out, you can tell them your truth or what you see as an outsider, but in the end they have to make that decision for themselves. If you have a poisonous person in your life and a friend goes, maybe they're not the best, and you can hear it, but when you're in it, it's different. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of has to sink in for yourself. And I think it did.
Yes.
Because those people are
Yeah,
Bye.
there's a few of them.
People who, and people who have been quite jealous of our friendship, who have tried to come between us, and not gonna happen. Not today.
No.
Bye. So we've also dealt with a lot of that, and again, I think the only reason we are still friends is because we've been honest with each other.
Yes.
That's it. Even when I have to pry it out of you, I can get you to that place to where, you know, you're okay and you're comfortable.
Yeah. It's true.
Because it does take you a while to be comfortable with people.
Yeah. And with talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as, and I'm not good at words. I mess them up all the time. That's probably another reason why I don't speak the truth, because or try to tell it as it is, because I don't say things right. And I've tried to do it before and it came out wrong and people would hate me. So there's another reason why I don't say anything back sometimes if I'm in a confrontation, because I'm gonna say it wrong and they're gonna hate me.
So then a lot of it for you is fear-based then?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I have friends now who I said something to them, not in a bad way, I didn't mean it to be, and they hated me, but they eventually became my friends because they realized I wasn't trying to be a jerk. But yeah, I'm not good with words.
Yeah, and I tell them all the time, like, you can't talk like that. You can't say that to certain people, like, or you can't just stay silent and say nothing because it comes off as rude. Even a hello, or we will be playing games with our friends, people who like him and know him, and they'll be trying to have a conversation with him and silence. And I'm like, I'll literally texting him like, you have to stop. Stop being weird. But again, that's part of like the whole truth thing. And he'll be like, I know. I'm trying. And so again, I just think it's really important. I can't stress it enough. And I feel like the only people who lie are people who have something to hide. And so if you just wake up every day and you decide that, like, you don't have anything to hide and there's no reason to lie, then you'll just have no reason to lie. Like,
yes.
Don't do things to where you would need to lie. So it's seriously not worth it. And I'm not like on some high horse, like, I've never lied. Like, obviously, I've lied. I was like the biggest liar as a kid. Like, I'm talking like lying about dating older boys and sneaking out and things like that. Like, I was a liar. And I just realized that, like, I would never have real relationships in my life if I kept going the way I was going. You know, you start losing important people and you're like, why can't I keep my friendships or my relationships? And if you can't figure it out, it's probably you. And that's okay. Like, I also feel like, you know, you should never be afraid to admit your faults or your shortcomings, because, like, we all have them. And I feel like if you're honest about those things, then the people that can accept those things and work on those things with you are the people that'll stick around. Because if you're just showing what you think people will like or whatever, if you're pretending to be someone you're not, it's never going to be a real friendship. You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be real. And again, it's like I just, so I was telling my daughter this today, and I just feel like we should be teaching it from a really young age. They're like, because like literally everyone lies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not like you're an awful person if you've lied in your life. Like,
exactly.
we all do it.
Yeah.
You know,
like applying for our jobs.
But see, that's how far it goes inside of me to be honest, because even on those things, I literally can't lie. I and I won't say who, but people have been like, "Oh, just say this, just say that. They're not going to check." Like I didn't graduate. And so someone was like, "Oh, just put that you did. They're not going to call the school." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't though."
Yeah.
And I don't want to be caught in a lie. You know what I mean? That terrifies me, of someone going, yeah, but.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh no."
Yep.
So, you can just choose not to lie.
Yep, just like my job. I did an interview. It was an online interview, which was weird, first time. But I didn't lie. And he told me that the foreman will evaluate my performances as far as my job. And
Do I need to plug this in? Is that what you're
yes, our laptop's gonna die. So, and
we're so prepared,
right? And the foreman, he likes me. He says that I do a great job, more than what I feel like I'm doing. But I guess I'm doing right.
That's not true. See, and that's the thing. It's like, I feel like at your last job, the reason you feel that way is because no one at your last job was appreciating you and being honest about your work, because they didn't want to have to pay you as much as you were worth. That's how I feel.
Yeah, they wanted. I got.
You were with them what, $4 years?
Yeah, I got $1 more at this other company, and they said, well, the foreman will basically watch over you and see how you're doing, and if you're worth that money, then you'll keep it. And he wants to give me more, so.
Now, mind you, that's $1 more when you started.
Yeah.
Took you 4 years to get to where you were pay-wise in your last job, and you start a new job here, and they're like, basically, here's a raise.
Yeah.
On your first day.
And there was a lot of other people who joined that same job site who aren't around anymore because they lied, said that they knew this and that, and they couldn't even do the basic stuff. But yeah, so don't lie. That's today's podcast.
Moral of the story, kids.
No lie.
Don't lie. And yeah, I don't know. I feel really strongly about it. And I find myself in a lot of situations where I do catch people in lies, or have somebody like going, "Don't tell this person I said this. Don't tell that person I said this." And I'm just like, how old are we that like you still feel at this age like you need to lie? I just don't get it. I'll never understand it. Like, obviously you did it as a kid. We all did, right? But yeah, I feel very strongly about it. And every time I talk to somebody and I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you and you're going to hate it, but either you're going to appreciate that about me or you're going to hate it about me, and that's okay. Either way, you can decide. But I literally tell people, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm super honest. And, if I ever say something too honest, like, go ahead and tell me. Like, I'll take that in. I can, I can listen. And you'd be surprised how fast they drop off. And you're like, okay, cool. Thank you for not letting me waste my time.
That's true.
So I think that's another big thing. It's like, I hate feeling like I've wasted my time. So if I can shortcut that and we can just be honest with each other, we can decide pretty quickly if it's worth, going on any further. Which for me is just in friendships. I'm married, so I don't have to date and worry about that. You do.
Yeah, I still have to worry about that.
Is that something that people who date worry about, or is that just me? I feel like if I ever was single again, I just could not date because I cannot handle bull. I just cannot. Everyone would hate me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably would.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Is that you're a single male?
Yeah.
Who's not currently dating.
No.
But is that something? Would you say that is something that one of your requirements for dating?
As far as lying?
Just being honest, or would you want someone to be that upfront with you in the beginning, or would that scare you off?
I think that'd be better. Just to know, I guess, what either they're looking for or what they don't like or like.
Mhm.
I would just, just throw it out there, and if it's compatible, which I'm pretty easygoing. I can't. I think I said something wrong. When she does that, I know I said something wrong.
This is why I love this guy so much. I'm constantly just give me the ammo I need to make fun of you. This is our friendship in a nutshell. He'll talk, I'll make fun of him. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Compatible?
Well, I guess I don't want to fight someone. Whatever the word is.
Compatible.
Compatible.
That's really funny. Yeah.
I already lost what I was thinking. Oh.
And if that's compatible, what?
Then I mean, okay, I'm an easygoing person, so I don't really judge people too much or at all, really.
Ghosts?
There's noises going on. So yeah, I don't judge people too harshly. So really, I guess it's more on my side. If they like who I am, then then that's great. I usually like most people, for the most part.
Not me.
So, it's whatever. I don't know. Have not been really looking either, because I'm just got set up with my own place and just still figuring my things out first.
Sure.
But yeah,
And
I guess that'll be my thing.
See, but that's part of honesty, is like knowing that you're not ready to give that much of yourself to another person just yet. Like, I think that's great.
Yeah, I think
that's a major
I'll
thing.
start off with the kitty or something, and then we'll see how that works out.
That's the same.
If it works out and they're still alive, then
I'll get a dog.
Then
and if
maybe
that works out, maybe a horse. And if that works out, I'll
can't get a
think
horse.
about
I
dating.
don't think that'll fit in this apartment.
Well, we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I mean, I'm not a guy who's dating, but
Or a guy.
well, I'm not a guy who's dating, or dating at all. But yeah, I mean, even in marriage, like, hello, the most important. Well, I mean, besides, but it is a part of communicating. But communication is like, if you can't A, hold a conversation with me, or B, like, have the adult back and forth when we're in an argument, which my husband is awful at. Oh, he's so bad at it. But I feel like I'm, again, honest with him about that, and he's gotten better. But yeah, if you can't keep up, then I just really don't know how you would keep anything going. Right? Because what do?
You sit there.
You talk.
You guys just sit there and watch Netflix all day. No one says anything.
Yeah. Well, we talk to each other. But the really funny thing is, if you were to come over to our house and hear the way that my husband and I speak to each other, you would think that we hate each other. Because that's how we joke, right? So he'll be like, shut your mouth and make me a sandwich, or get in the kitchen, or what, you talking? I'll be like, yeah, I am. That's just how we are. But yeah, I just don't. I don't know how someone would keep someone going, if you weren't being honest and open. It's important. It just is. With everybody, just be honest.
Be honest. No lying ever. If you guys are gonna hang out and they're saying, "Are you on your way?" Don't say yes and be watching Netflix.
Is that you?
That's I'm on the way. I'm
on the way.
Still watching my show. It needs to finish.
Anyways, yeah, that's just it. I felt really strongly about it. And I just feel like you should grow all the time as a person, and the one person you should always be honest with, if anyone, is yourself.
And God.
Yeah. And him too.
No,
if that's what you believe in.
With yourself, always be honest.
I mean, because at the end of the day, you only live with yourself. Everyone else is an option. Like,
It's true.
it's like you're a choice I make
Yes.
every day, right? My husband, a choice I make every day. But myself, I don't have a choice. I'm stuck with me. Ugh. But that's why it's really important to be honest with yourself and to literally grow every day. Like, I literally try to be a better version of myself every day. Every day I try. It's not, and it's not an easy thing. It's just not, because you have to be really honest with yourself, and that can hurt. It can. I didn't start really growing as a person, I think, until like 25, and that's just too long. So, I hope that if you're watching this and maybe you struggle with this, just make the choice. Work on it. Start with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Start working to be a more honest person if maybe you're not. Doesn't make you a bad person. So, it's, you just got to work on it. If you know someone in your life that maybe you feel isn't honest with you, be honest with them and have that conversation with them. And always be honest with people about your needs and be okay with theirs too. Like, everyone has a way they want to be treated. And I find that a lot of people don't give that but want that. So you got to give it to get it. You just do.
The truth, right there.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it.
I hope this isn't the first time you're hearing it. Or maybe if there's a parent out there that hasn't like had that conversation with their children. Like, it's never too early. You know what I mean?
Never.
But I feel like there is a too late, so just do it early.
Exactly.
And not that it's too late to grow, but like, as a parent, at some point, those children leave your house, and then you're like, hope I did the right thing. That's just,
yeah.
So yeah, the conversation this morning with my daughter just really started getting me thinking, and also appreciating the people that I have in my life right now, who help me be me, and let me be me. And it's not just honesty. I mean, that was my main thing today, because I do feel like it's an issue, but it could be anything. Growth is so many different things, and it just got me thinking. And it also, like, when something happens to someone else, I think it doesn't have to happen to you. You can grow from someone else's struggle or whatever. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be some like life altering thing that's happened. So she was just going through this thing, mm-hmm. and I was like, that's just a reminder to me, to reinforce the good behaviors, and also just remind myself to do the same thing. It's always easier to tell someone to do something. It's a different thing to take your own advice.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And also listening to advice when someone gives it to you that
always
cares about
listen.
you.
Always. I'm a great listener. I always take all the advice and I apply it right away.
Are you lying right now? We're doing a podcast about being honest and you're lying.
I want to see if they could see it. It's a test. You
Can
failed.
You see the lie in my eyes?
You failed. If you couldn't see the lie, you failed.
No, and that's another thing too. It's okay to joke and make fun of yourself and stuff like that. I think that's part of just knowing who you are. And if you're out there and you feel like you don't really know who you are, like, that's okay. Like, I know people in their 40s who don't know who they are. There's no set time. There's no, you know what I mean? it's constant, and you'll find your way, and you'll find good people, and you'll be good people, and that's it.
That's it.
Okay? Because I said it. You heard it here
Be good people.
from my lips to God's ears.
to you.
So yeah, that's anything you want to add? Because I feel like I talked a lot.
Well, that's usual. So
And I did not tell him the topic today because I wanted to get his natural reaction.
yeah, it was quiet because I didn't know what's up.
That's not true.
No, I feel like everything was spot on. I didn't have to add anything. It was perfect.
Well, do you have any sort of situation where you were late, or you know someone who maybe had this issue, and did it ruin a friendship?
Yeah. All the time.
All the time.
I only have like one
daily.
friend. Yeah. No. I don't know. I mean, I also try not to push too much into people's own things as well, like their own private stuff. So I guess I don't usually know if they're experiencing like, being lied to, or maybe they don't speak their full honesty because I don't usually push too much into a conversation. So I don't know. I don't.
Well, what about on the personal side of it, of being lied to?
I don't know. I'm not really too deep in many what do I say, friendships that they would lie to me. I have really good friends that I talk to daily, but they don't really have any reason to lie to me.
Yeah. Do you feel like most of the lying that's been done to you is from the female form?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some males, but you know.
I feel like maybe that happens a lot, where it's a lot of the opposite sex lying to the opposite sex.
It's true.
And well, I feel like guys lie about different things, I feel like, than what girls lie about. That's just my opinion. I'm not stating facts here, but in my opinion and in my experiences, I find that they definitely lie about different things, and of course everyone's different, but I feel like I also feel like girls are pretty good at it too.
Lying? Yeah, that's true.
Like, I feel like guys get caught in lies a lot, but females, man, they work them tears, and boom.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's just a tear, man.
It's also part of manipulation, I think.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best. Maybe that can be a different topic another time, but. And also, I would just like to say that, like, if there's a topic maybe you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the table. Everything is open, and we're very open. And, you know, of course, we have a lot to say on topics that we're interested in, but that doesn't mean that we wouldn't have opinion on things that interest you as well. So, what's been the biggest lie someone's told you?
Oh no, I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
You sure about that? Because I could tell you right now.
I can't remember then. I can't remember.
A.
A.
Who says A?
Canadians?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Like the biggest lie you could probably tell someone.
Yeah, there's been someone who's told me a really big lie.
Don't have to say names. Don't have to say anything.
But I did this thing where I dated someone online.
I did this thing.
This is a thing that people do nowadays.
Yeah.
And they were from Canada. And they were, as we were dating, supposedly, you know, some people could say it's not real, but whatever. It's whatever.
If your feelings are real, it's real. I don't care.
But they had, they were, I guess, still seeing the person
Involved.
they said they weren't. They said that they weren't seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And they also was having a baby as well. And I didn't know about
Lied
it.
about a baby.
So, who would have known how that would have worked out?
Who does that?
Obviously, it wasn't going to work out. So, it's fine. It was
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
best.
obviously it's fine now.
Yeah.
That is the biggest lie.
That's pretty huge.
I
I forgot about it. I forget things easily too.
You're like, I'm trying to forget.
Yeah. Now all the feelings are back. Oh no.
Starts crying. Yeah, but I mean, that's a huge one. I think lying about being in a relationship and or pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. Like, that's on another level.
That's a low level.
I'm trying to think the biggest lie someone's told me. I don't know. I've been lied to a lot. But I don't think anything, like, super huge. I mean, boyfriends lying about cheating. I guess that's the hugest thing.
That's pretty huge.
That's, like, life-changing, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big. I think, and it's happened multiple times. So I think, like, that's shaped a lot of my trust stuff.
Well, there's also, like, lying that people want to be friends or they care about you. It's pretty big too.
I mean, yeah. Well, especially if you're invested.
Yeah.
You know.
Or at least trying to.
Mm-hmm. I think we've both experienced quite a bit of that. Me especially because, unfortunately, I get along better with males than females. Not that I don't have girlfriends or, you know, I like girls. It's not that, but I just find that I vibe better off of dudes. And that's been my entire life. My first best friend, a dude. And so, but you also get in these sticky situations where they're lying that they don't have alternate intentions, and it just ends up bad. You know, it's like, you just be honest from the beginning. If you're like, yeah, you're cool, but I'm also trying to get it. Like, cool, but, like, let me know that so that I can decide if, like, we can work through that. If I could, like, get you out of that real quick. Or if, like, you know, it's just one of those dudes who just want to get in and get out. I mean, then we can go our separate ways. You know, no one gets hurt. Everyone goes home. Boom, done.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately have experienced that a lot. I've lost a lot of what I thought were really good friends who suddenly felt some type of way. And sometimes it's happened where it didn't happen at first, where, you know, they didn't feel anything, and then later they did, and they couldn't handle that, because, again, I'm a married woman, so, like, I understand that feelings happen, but also understand that that's not going to go anywhere. Like, I've had male friends who understand that, and I'm still friends with them now, and some people just can't handle that, and, you know, they move along, and that's hurtful, because then it's like this whole thing of, like, you feel bad for them, and then, you know, you're hurt because you thought that it was a real friendship, and that, you know, it was gonna be a long-lasting one, and then all of a sudden it's not, because feelings got involved. Don't let that happen.
No.
Ugh, stop it. Feelings are gross.
Feelings are gross.
So yeah, it all comes down to just being honest about everything. Doesn't matter what it is.
Be honest.
Just be honest. Even if you feel like that person is going to judge you or whatever, they're going to judge you anyway if they find out.
Yeah.
So
They're
let them
judging
judge you.
anyways. Even if they like you, they judge you.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
I'm human, you
Yeah.
know. I've made snap judgments before about people, but I'm also honest about that. So again, it's like knowing, it's just like knowing who you are and being okay with that. Like, and you know, letting other people be okay with that. And if they're not, be okay with that. I think it's time to go because we're just rambling at this point.
It's just rambling.
But yeah, I felt like it was a topic worth talking about, and something that I've experienced a lot in my life, and something that like I used to do and have grown out of that. So I feel like it was worth talking about, and like, you know, I feel like a lot of people experience it as well, you know, or do it. So if you're experiencing it right now, like, know that it's not your fault. People just are who they are, and sometimes you can't make someone grow up. You can't make someone be honest. So just know that like it's not on you. Like, you can't control anyone else. You can only control yourself. You can only control the way that you react to people. So if you're going through it right now, I feel you. I've been there. It gets better. You move on. I promise.
Yes.
If you're someone who maybe isn't that truthful, you can. You suck.
No.
No, you can grow out of that, and sometimes I think it's just a habit. You know, it doesn't always mean that, you know, you're trying to be malicious or whatever. Sometimes people just lie to lives, just like a habit. But you can break that, and you can do better and be better, and stop hurting people's feelings, you jerk.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to stop rambling and go. We really hope that you guys are enjoying this podcast. We are looking into better equipment right now.
Yeah.
I really want to start with getting a better mic because I feel like that's really important considering we're talking. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Especially about like things that are coming up that are really important to us. I want really good quality for those things, like like explaining how we met and our friendship and things like that. Obviously, it's going to come up in other things, but I want to make a long thing about how we met and our friendship and stuff like that. You're so dumb. But I want better equipment for those really important things that I think you guys need to hear. Today I picked this one right off the bat because it was just something I was experiencing. It was something that happened in my life today, and I feel like I should talk about these things when they're fresh, and when I have an opinion on them. And again, just because it's fresh, it happened today. I wanted to get it off my chest, and hopefully someone needed to hear it.
Yep.
Whether that was someone who is experiencing a heartache right now because of it, or someone who has maybe caused a heartache because of it. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed.
Yes. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
Yes. And we will be back next week.
Yep.
If you guys want more, let us know. We can do more than once a week. I was afraid of running out of things to say, even though that's never happened to me before, but you never know. And also I don't want people to get sick of it, so I don't know if once a week is enough, or if you guys maybe want 2 a week, or if 1 a week is good, that's fine too, but let us know. Thank you everyone for being patient.
Thank you.
With all of this that's happening.
What all this is.
It's not that, and I don't want to bring too much attention to it, and I know that I do, but we all have to start somewhere, and we're trying, and we want to be better for you guys. So that's where we're trying to go. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Thank you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry if you didn't. Maybe you'll enjoy the next one. And yeah, this is us signing off.
Yeah.
Bye, dogs.
We're out of here.